So, how many of you have faced different behavioral issues in your children? Or how many of you are facing that your child is behaving in a very different way, or you are bothered about your child's emotional outburst? This is a burning issue for today's parents, right? This is not what I am saying. We have conducted survey on 600 parents so far, where we asked that what is their major concern as a parent, and guess what? Out of 600 parents, 49% of them came out with a major concern of the child's behavioral issue. It is the angriness, the aggressiveness of the child, or the indiscipline or disobedient behavior of the child, or the rudeness of the child, or sometimes the submissiveness or the depression, sadness in the child. In one word, the child is not having control on his or her behavior. Now there are two parts. Number one, why this is happening, and number two, what we can do about that. Why this is happening, regarding that, in our last post, my fellow trainer Tapash has given a very subliminal clue that this is because of the emotional disbalance or emotional imbalance in our children. However, we are going to bring more insights in our upcoming posts in the why part. Now today in this video, I want to bring help for you. I have personally spoken to a number of children, those parents who have complained about their child's behavior. I spoke to them and I tried to know what happened inside their mind, and I understood that the children, they never want to behave in a negative way. Very instinctively, the children wants to have the appreciation from the parents, whatever, irrespective of their age. They want the love from their parents, but something happens inside their mind which predominates that feelings and which come out with sudden outbursts, and they themselves don't like the feeling they have. They don't like the mental state they have at that point of time. How can we help our children to come out of that? Can we? Yes, definitely. There is no such problem in this world where there is no solution. Always we can come up with certain help. Now, what are the tips? Number one tip: connect your child before correcting your child. I'll repeat my tip: connect your child before correcting your child. I know, being a parent, we all have the parental instinct that we are responsible to correct our children, to show them the right direction, right pathways. But my dear friends, if we cannot connect them, the way we show will not be effective for them. Before going deeper, I just want to say, what does it mean by connecting? Connecting means empathizing. Connecting means sending the message to your child that I am there, I can understand you. Listening to them when they want to tell you something without being judgmental, without bringing comparison, without bringing advice. Just listen to them and sending them the message that I am there to listen to you. If you have less time, I know we all parents are busy, we always don't have the time to listen to our children. If you have 5 minutes time to spend with your child, in that 5 minutes, 3 minutes or 4 minutes spend in connecting with your child. And if you want to correct, do it for 1 minute. If you have 3 minutes time to spend with your child, then connect with your child. Don't go for correcting. You can do correction later on. You can do correction in a number of ways, but it's very important to connect with your child. So, tip number one is connect with your child before correcting your child. What is tip number two? Tip number two is increase your child's emotional literacy. Increase your child's emotional vocabulary. Encourage. What does it mean by increasing emotional literacy? Encourage your child to talk more about his or her emotion. Encourage your child to increase the vocabulary of emotions. Understand different emotions. All the emotions are not same. And just help them to understand the difference between frustration and sadness. Both are not same. Help them to understand the difference between anger and rage. Help them to understand the different extent of each of the emotions. For an example, sadness is due to some external or internal factor. So you may let go it, or you may do something if it is in your control, right? But frustration is something where you feel that you could be able to do something more and you did not do. So for frustration, you cannot let it go. You just need to do it, whatever you think you could do immediately, and go forward. So like that, if you can understand the difference between the emotions, then only you can take the right actions. Emotions are for sending us some messages. Our responsibility is to understand them and to work on them. So that's the first step, to understand the differences between the emotions. Help your child to understand those things. Tip number 3 is very important. Master your own emotion as a person, as a parent. If you can't master your own emotion, then what can happen? There are number of impact. I'll say about 2 impacts. Number 1 impact, if you are not able to master your emotion, then you will be in a negative state of mind, and when you feel bad, when you are in a negative state of mind, you cannot do good for anyone, right? You are going to create a very different kind of environment at home. So it is very important to master your own emotion. Emotions will be there. Change your feelings quickly. Go back to your positive state of mind quickly. Second impact, if you cannot master your own emotion, I will tell you one example. I knew a boy who was very polite and decent at the early age of his life, but at the home of this boy, there used to be a lot of incidents which used to be violent and indecent. Outburst of hatred, lot of out loud hatred communication used to happen at home. So at the age of 18 and 19, the boy turned out in a different way. He started responding to his parents or to the other people, to his friends, in a very different way with a very minimal trigger. Say the parents are saying, why you are waking up late? The boy is behaving violently, throwing the stuffs in the room. Why? Lot of psychological counseling and psychological analysis came the things in front. What is happening inside the boy's mind is the boy is perceiving the other person's conversation with a greater sense of hostile than what is it actually. The boy is thinking that the person is saying means something more is there, in something more hatred or some more insult or some more impulse is there behind. That is the boy is perceiving in his mind because of his past experience, what used to be there at home in his earlier days. You can understand such a great impact you are creating with your own reaction of your emotions to your child's personality. So you can understand that how much important it is to master your own emotion as a person, as a parent. I'm sure you can. I'll repeat my tips for you. So tip number 1 is connect before you correct your child. Tip number 2, increase your child's emotional literacy, increase your child's emotional vocabulary. Tip number 3, master your own emotion as a person, as a parent, so that you can create a better environment at home. So now you learn 3 very basic tips, but mind that learning is incomplete without applying, right? These tips can be really very helpful if you apply them. Apply those tips. Start from the scratch level and do it consistently. See the difference. If you find that this video is helpful for you, please join our FB community, Mission Empowering Mind Parenting Insights, where we bring lot more insights, where we will bring lot more ways how you can control your own emotion, how you can master your own emotions, now how can you help your child to behave in a more productive and more positive way, and how can you help your child to build a wonderful future. Not only your child, how can you build a great wonderful future for other children as well. Have a great mindset, have a great mastery on your own emotion, and have a great life.